Hi everyone, we're excited to have each and every one of you here, and we're excited from the luxury team to be able to present you what we're doing in the luxury world at eBay. I'm Turath Kamdar, the General Manager of Luxury at eBay, and I'm accompanied here with Nina Skoll, our Head of Handbags at eBay, and Christina Driggs, the Head of Watches. If there's one thing that we want you to take away from this presentation today is one headline. We are focused on luxury like we have never ever done before. We're investing into growth and driving more awareness as a luxury destination so you get more traffic to your business. And we love to highlight that today in our presentation to you. Today we're going to talk to you about updates within the luxury industry at eBay, the promotional calendar, the trends happening in the category, and best practice and resources to make your business more successful in luxury at eBay. We have a vision. We want to be the most premier, and the word premier is very important here, while driving trust in a global marketplace for luxury. We're going to deliver an elevated experience as a destination for brand partners, businesses, and consumers. This will allow us to build a luxury ecosystem at eBay like we never have before and drive that increased traffic for you as the years come forward. Who are our customers? Our key customers that we're targeting are folks who are after purchasing a handbag or a watch or jewelry or accessories for different life moments, whether it's a promotion or getting married or somebody's graduation. These are life moments that don't come too often, and we want to make sure we're there for the special occasion for these buyers and having your inventory in front of them. The collectors, we have a lot of collectors on eBay that want to just buy things to hold or potentially invest into as alternative investments and then resell on eBay in the future. And trends, there's so many trends happening in the world, and we want to be there front and center as part of those global trends and bring your inventory to life to those consumers seeking that are trend driven. And it is a very exciting time to be in the secondary markets, especially pre-owned luxury. The Gen Zers are leading this charge, right? 80% have bought pre-owned goods in the last year, and they continue to do so. Why? Because sustainability is such a critical topic for them in that generation and the generations to come. We even noticed that 69% of customers in the US purchased pre-owned luxury in the last year, and 76% expect to buy pre-owned from luxury sites in the future. eBay is well positioned front and center to these customers, especially in luxury, to take on that next generation of consumers. We also want to meet seller demands, right? And as a result, we've launched different types of features. One is authenticity guarantee. That's important because it brings you added protection. You don't want fraudulent returns. You don't want rocks in the box. You want to make sure you're going to receive back, if that buyer is returning that luxury item, you're getting back the same thing. Innovations, right? We've launched 3D view on listings, and that's coming soon more and more to luxury. We've launched the NFC e-tag experience, where in the future will allow you to build customer loyalty among these customers. And there's behavior shift, right? There's more of an increased confidence in people that want to buy luxury resale items, especially as Gen Z becomes the key customer in the market share out there. eBay will be front and center positioned to take that on for you. We made a lot of key strategic moves, right? We're not only enhancing trust, as we just spoke in the previous slide, but we're increasing quality supply and giving you the tools to do that at a scalable way, including strategic account management that's here for you to help you strategize on how to grow your business and get through eBay in terms of events, deals, marketing, other things that Nina and Christina will both speak to later. And we're shifting perception out there, right? eBay is starting to become more known as a destination for luxury, and we're bringing on the key industry partnerships, the influencers that we partnered up with in the watch industry, the jewelry world, as well as handbags, and all these things are starting to shift perception of eBay as a destination for luxury, including our own social channels. And a lot of the strategy has come together, right? The strides we've made in the last 2 years are just a starting point of what's to come. We've launched authenticity guarantee. We then rolled that into expert verification in watches, meaning watches for $1,000 to $2,000 for $80, a buyer can pay for it to go through authenticity guarantee. We've expanded authenticity guarantee in handbags into wallets, man bags, and other handbag brands, and we're going to keep doing that. And most recently, about a month and a half ago, we launched jewelry as an authenticity guarantee program with a collaboration with the world's renowned lab in GIA. And more handbag brands and category are set to launch in the second half as well of this year. And as you saw, we have a renewed focus on jewelry. Jewelry worth $500 and more currently now goes through GIA, the leading lab in the country and the world, being able to process unbranded jewelry. And we're going to be launching 5 new brands later this year before the holidays: Cartier, Bulgari, Van Cleef & Arpels, David Yurman, and Tiffany & Company, all part of the Authenticity Guarantee Program. Expert verification in watches. It's really exciting to see somebody that's looking for their first Tag Heuer or Omega watch, and if it's a $1,500 watch, they could pay $80 and get Authenticity Guarantee for those watches. And wallets, men's bags, and more brands coming. We launched MCM, Loewe, Jewett Lieber, and Salvatore Ferragamo, as well as wallets and other types of accessories. And we're really excited that we're going to keep expanding this into 2023. There's so much more to come in the future. This is just a starting point, and that is what us as a team are very excited about, right? How do we grow expert verification in what we've done in watches into other categories? How do we bring buy now, pay later and point of sale financing solutions and really take new forms of payment and eTag and Vault experience? As you know, we launched Vault recently in trading cards with a 31,000 square foot facility in Delaware. We want to grow that into luxury because luxury is becoming an alternative investment class. It's a great way for those collectors and flippers to play a big role by having an item vaulted where it never needs to leave the vault, and you can buy and sell it just from the vault. So very excited about the innovation to come, but we want to keep taking your feedback as we innovate, because we're innovating not only for our buyers, but also for you, our sellers. I'd love to turn it over now to Christina Driggs, and she'll start talking about some of the category trends in watches. Christina, why don't you tell everybody what's going on in the watch world?
Sure, thank you. I head up the watch category, and I'm just so excited to talk about watches because we were the first category to launch the Authenticity Guarantee service back in 2020. And since then, we've really seen growth in that program, but also within watches. So back last year in 2021, we saw a watch sell every 8 seconds. Talk about velocity. And one of those watches that sold was one of the most sought after watches in the market today. It was a Patek Philippe Nautilus, which went for $230,000. So you can find rare collectibles like this on eBay. You can also find highly sought after, sold out Rolexes, and also other common brands like Omega and Breitling. But people are also coming to eBay to find more up and coming brands that are niche, and they're getting their start on eBay as well. So if you're interested, you probably are likely to find it on eBay. We also see that the watch industry itself is growing. So Morgan Stanley stated that last year, the Swiss watch industry, it grew by 31% over the previous year. This is unprecedented. Bain also just projects this is the start. They're expecting that this is going to be a $30 billion opportunity in the coming years alone. And eBay certainly has a portion of that market. We've been a leader in this space for a while now, and we find that luxury customers are coming to eBay frequently, and they're only going to focus their interest and their spend in the coming years in these luxury verticals. And I'm going to hand it over to Nina Skoll so that she can tell us about the handbag business.
Thanks, Christina. I'm very excited to be here today to talk about handbags. I'm also going to introduce jewelry for Kathy, who couldn't be here today. But in the handbag space, we've been experiencing double-digit growth since Q4 2021. Last year, a handbag was purchased every 13 seconds, which is amazing to see. Scarcity and price increases out in the market have really driven buyers to the secondhand market, including eBay. We've also been able to add on to our Authenticity Guarantee program since we've launched. So far this year, we've added men's bags into the mix in Q1, and we've also added wallets in April. We've also added great new brands so far this year, and we've really only scratched the surface with what we want to do. So we're adding even more brands and new categories pretty soon in the future. So stay tuned for that. And then in jewelry, so eBay recently expanded Authenticity Guarantee into our newest focus category, which is jewelry. We're collaborating with the Gemological Institute of America, otherwise known as GIA, and we're really working with them very closely on diamonds, colored stones, and pearls, with more brands, categories to launch in the future. There are nearly 7.8 million fine jewelry listings on eBay, and as eBay continues to build on our success and continues to be a trusted place out there in the market, jewelry is really the next big focus area and strategic step for us to take in terms of growing the trust out there for both our buyers and our sellers. Back to Christina for some sourcing guidelines.
I'm not going to go through all of the items on this page, but we really wanted to include this so that you can see what kind of items you can source for the upcoming holidays. And we're also going to talk about some promotional periods as well. So digest this deck and reach out if you have any questions. We have our contact information included at the end of the presentation. So we're going to also talk about what are those peak times that you can expect to see in the various categories within the luxury division. So within watches, you're going to find that during the holidays, you'll have higher sales. That's most categories. But in particular, you're going to see some strength during eBay's own retail holiday, which is Green Monday. And that happens on the second Monday of every December. Another peak time for us is in January, where you'll see a lot of January sales, and it particularly does well during the New Year, New You period at the beginning of the month. Another peak time that you'll find is upcoming, and that's for Labor Day, so look out for an increase in your traffic during those periods. Also make sure that you're sourcing enough inventory so that you're prepared with extra quantity or sought after items for those peak periods. Or if you have older stock and you want to liquidate it, it's a good time for you to look at store levers such as Markdown Manager. You can run a coupon on your whole store or on select brands. You can also send more offers to your buyers. But most importantly, make sure that you price your items correctly. The market fluctuates a lot, and what prices are listed at is not always what it's selling for. So we recommend that you look at Terapeak and you see what items have been selling for, at least within the last week or going back to a month, because prices fluctuate a lot within the watch industry. So leverage this tool so that you can stay on top of pricing, and you can also optimize the velocity of your sales. And I'll hand it over to Nina so that she can walk us through how you can most effectively sell handbags.
Yeah, and there's a lot of similarities with watches, right, in the handbag and jewelry space. So in handbags, we see that this is a category that's big in terms of gifting, but also self-purchase and self-gifting. So we see a lot of strength during those key gifting retail moments throughout the year. So Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, and of course, holiday in Q4. Seller-funded coupons are a great way to help your items show up in search and get some more sales velocity. So if you aren't currently participating in seller-funded coupons, we encourage you to do so. Reach out. We're happy to help you get started with that if you haven't tried that yet. We're aiming to do about 1 to 3 per quarter so far for handbags. And then seller events and brand outlet. These are also great ways to drive some additional eyeballs to your inventory, in addition to promoted listings and promoted listings advanced. So we would be happy to get you started with those programs as well and help boost some velocity and sales on your items. And then in jewelry, so jewelry has a really huge moment during holiday. So Black Friday, Cyber Monday, really important within the jewelry business. And we're excited to have Authenticity Guarantee ramp up and include all sellers in time for holiday, so that key gifting moment. Advertising packages are also available for key search terms as well as brands, in addition to targeted homepage banners. And research industry trends, including jewelry silhouettes and motifs, gemstones, metalways, price points. These really offer buyers, a shopping point in terms of those key gifting periods.
So now that we've told you how to sell your items, we're going to get into it a little bit more on how that you have an overall successful transaction. And that includes reducing returns and ensuring that if your item qualifies for authenticity guarantee, that it's going to pass inspection. So a lot of tips that we want to share with you would be around making sure that you include as many images as possible. And if there's wear and tear on the watch, we want to see that not only in your pictures, but in the description. Call that out. And this includes new or shop-worn inventory. If it even has hairline scratches, your customer will want to know. And we've seen this is the top reason for returns from customers. So we just want to make sure that you have an overall high customer satisfaction rate. Another high reason for returns is around sizing or fitment. So if you can include a size guide within images or within the description, that way a customer can see the size of the case and how it fits on their wrist. Another big one is around band size. So you can now fill out item specifics like the maximum wrist size, the band size. That's a common reason why customers reach out after a sale. If there's a missing link, then state that. Another thing that you would want to state is if there's a hang tag, and that's in the image of the listing, even if that's a stock image, your customer will expect that. If you have a template that you use, and in that description it states that it comes with a booklet, then the customer will expect that. So if your booklets have become digitized, then you'll want to remove your template, or you can state in the listing that it's a digitized booklet. Some other common tips is to include the collateral that comes with your watch in an image. That way the buyer sees the condition of the original box. If it doesn't come with box and papers, also state that. Your customer wants to know as much information as possible, and we want to just make sure that you not only sell your watch, but you don't have returns, and that you also pass through authenticity guarantee. So I'll hand it over to Nina so she can walk us through some tips and handbags.
Thanks, Christina. Yeah, a lot of similarities again between watches and handbags, and then also jewelry, right? So we've listed a suggested title format here, so you can see this is really to help customers find your items, also boost you up in search. So we also recommend that you describe any wear and tear to your item. Make sure you're very specific, that you're including photos, and especially taking pictures from all angles. So within handbags, it's super important for the customer to be able to see the front, the back, the side of the bag, and also the interior. So make sure you are putting in photos of your interior and describing that in your listing as well. That's actually our #1 reason for returns and SNAD, which is significantly not as described. So make sure that you are paying special attention to the interior of that bag to reduce that from happening. And then last but not least, for handbags, similar to watches, make sure that you're listing any collateral or accessories that come with the bag, and make sure that you include that in your shipment before you send that off. And then within jewelry, so images, title, description, and item specifics should always match. So again, similar to watches and handbags, make sure that you are describing as much as you can, taking as many photos as you can, and making sure that the overall condition accurately represents that item. Pay special attention to sizing, so similar to watches, making sure that you're listing the correct sizing and showing any defects or wear and tear that there might be to the item, as well as functionality issues. Also make sure that you are paying special attention to anything that could influence the purchasing decision for the buyer, because again, we want to reduce returns for you and also SNAD, so significantly not as described. And then in jewelry, lastly but not least, very important to include all certificates, warranties, and receipts. So make sure that you list those and also include them in the shipment before you send it off to our center.
All right, we want to leave you with some key takeaways today. First and foremost, luxury is a very big focus area for us at eBay. We have a dedicated team, dedicated account managers that are here to grow your business every single day. We want to grow it for that next generation of consumers. We spoke a lot about the Gen Z, and they really care about sustainability. Well, eBay's front and center as one of the leading pre-owned luxury marketplaces out there, and we're going to keep investing in that growth and driving more awareness to your business. And that's primarily because we've launched a lot of great programs in trust for you as a seller, trust for the buyer. We're investing significantly into the marketplace, search, and different technologies. And we're really excited for what 2023 and beyond is going to be for luxury at eBay. Before we leave, we wanted to also let you know you can connect with us, and we want to help you grow your business. So this is Christina. She runs the watches area. Nina runs the handbags area. And Kathy couldn't be here today, but she recently joined eBay about 2-3 months ago, and she runs the jewelry area. And we have a really great, robust team around all of us, both not only within our business unit, but cross-functionally, that are here to dedicate themselves to you to grow the luxury business at eBay. Thank you very much for taking the time today. And also, just for fun, we love to hear what are some of your favorite handbag brands, jewelry brands, or watch brands. Drop them into the chat. We love to talk about them. We're super fans of the luxury industry and love to hear what are some of the things you're liking and seeing in trends out there. Thank you, everyone.